What is going on, guys? We're going to be talking about ATM insurance, and do we even really need it? What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you are new, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. All right, so what we're going to jump into today is ATM insurance and whether or not it's even necessary to have it, right? Like, do we even need ATM insurance? So basically, here's what it does: employee dishonesty, people who work for you stealing from you. And what I mean by that, and why it's important to kind of keep in mind, is sometimes we want to outsource everything, right? Because we want passive income. Passive income is our overall goal in the ATM business, right? So sometimes we're going to outsource this, the idea and the job of having our friends and family, and maybe we might go on LinkedIn or something like that. We might find people who we feel could be a good fit for the company, and then we have them go and change out the money, right? The money in the ATM. Now, there are times when those people, get a hold of that money, especially when your business has grown and they're dealing with $5, $6, $7, $10,000 in cash at a time. These people sometimes get the idea that maybe they can just take that $10,000 and run off. And actually, there are types of insurance that can actually cover things like that happen. So if someone steals from you, you can actually get that money paid back to you, or you can recover some of it, as long as you are able to prove that one of your employees that was on your payroll actually stole from you. But actually, in order to make sure that that's all legit and to make sure that that's work, make sure you have your employees or anyone that's working for you on papers so that you can find them, so that you can do the proper police reports, etc., etc. All right. So the next thing is robbery. Okay, other people stealing from those who work for you. So if you have someone who is working under you, you have them on papers, they're going and filling up your ATMs at the different locations. Well, let's just say that somebody just happens to rob them. Let's say that they get robbed. Having ATM insurance would allow you to recoup that money that you were, burgled for, right? So if someone robs you or robs one of your employees, you would have that insurance in order to be able to receive your funds back, right? Another thing is burglary, mysterious disappearance of components of your ATM. So let's just say your money randomly disappears. Let's just say different components, different parts of your ATM disappear because, let's say, someone breaks into the store and let's say that they see something on your ATM that they feel is valuable. They might try to take that in order to get a quick buck, selling it at a pawn shop or something. So if something like that were to happen, having an ATM insurance would actually allow you to receive compensation for that, or maybe even replace things that were stolen. All right, now property damage or property loss, so loss of the actual ATM. If by some miracle someone is able to pull your ATM out of the location that it's in, you would be able to receive funds in order to purchase a new one, or you can get a replacement depending on the ATM insurance that you have. Obviously, if something like that were to happen and you didn't have any insurance, you would kind of be in hot water with the customer. And when I say customer, the owner of the location, you would kind of be in hot water with them because you would end up having to go back and purchase an additional ATM and completely go through the same process that you did originally with purchasing an ATM, and that could just really hurt your profits, right? And then we have liability coverage, and this protects you from the legal aspects of owning an ATM, such as bodily harm. So if someone were to hit their head or something at hit their head, slip and fall, maybe the store owner was cleaning and they walk in and they slip, and they not only do they hurt themselves on the owner of the location's floor, if they hit themselves on your ATM, then both of you could be potentially liable for monetary damages to that customer. Okay. Now, when exactly does it benefit us to have ATM insurance, right? And the reason that it's really going to be situational is because there are a bunch of different types of ATMs, and each one of those ATMs could potentially need different types of insurance, because we have mobile ATMs, which are basically drilled into the wall, and then we have the traditional bigger ATMs that we normally see on a day-to-day basis. And there are certain things that your processor or the person that you purchase your ATM, they can actually offer you certain things to help protect your ATM in terms of security and in terms of coverage, right? So make sure that you, whoever you get your ATM from, make sure that you are talking to them and asking them what do they have available in terms of coverage before you run off and go to some of these third-party ATM insurance companies, because some of these companies will try to scam you and get you to pay $500 a month. Sometimes you can pay $500 a year. Sometimes you can pay $12 a month. It really is going to depend on what exactly it is that you get. It's similar to searching and shopping around for your car insurance, right? When we're shopping around for car insurance, sometimes other people will have better deals. Some people will have terrible deals. Some people will have really good deals, right? So we want to make sure that we're getting the best deal. Now, jumping right back into it, when it benefits you the most will be strip clubs, bars, festivals, and sketchy areas, right? So when I say strip clubs, you have to keep in mind all the crazy things that go on in strip clubs. We have guys getting drunk all the time. We got strippers getting drunk all the time. We have different fights could break out. A lot of different things can happen in a location like that. So you want to make sure that you are protected. I know in some of the locations such as strip clubs, I see all the time on the news where the patrons that come to the strip club, sometimes they might get drunk and they might fall and they might hurt themselves. When the bouncer is throwing them out because they were harassing the strippers or something, and they might trip over the ATM. So a lot of different things can kind of happen in a situation like that, because people go to these places not entirely in their right mind. And the same goes with bars. You have bar fights, you got obviously the people getting drunk, and again, people getting thrown out for being too drunk. Or if someone gets into a fight and then let's say they get their face smashes into the ATM or something, they could potentially come after you and your business for monetary damages, right? So we want to try to avoid having to pay people when they, for their mistakes. We live in a world right now where people can sue you for anything. So if you have an ATM in a bar or a strip club, you want to kind of keep that in mind. Now, moving on to festivals. Festivals are something where people, more than likely, your ATM could take a bit of damage depending on what type of festival it is. And something like that, you're dealing with hundreds of thousands of people in an area. Anything can happen. And when you're dealing with people, and you're dealing with a situation where there are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 people at a time, and everyone's clamoring to use your ATM, anything could go wrong. Anything can be stolen. Somebody can hurt themselves. Anything. So you want to kind of keep that in mind. Just have an idea of how many people are going to be there. How rowdy can that festival get. You want to keep those things in mind when you are putting your ATM at festivals, and you want to make sure that the insurance that you have covers all possible areas. And then finally, obviously, sketchy areas. I think we all know what happens to sketchy areas. If you put your ATM in a sketchy area, let's just say you did that because, let's just say that it has really good foot traffic. Let's just say that there's a lot of money to be made in that area. But there's a sketchy area. You want to have insurance on that ATM, because potentially that ATM will get tampered with at some point, anything could happen. Your employee or yourself can get robbed trying to refill the ATM. You know, the owner's shop could get burgled. Anything could happen, right? So you want to keep those things in mind in terms of your ATM placement in those sketchy areas, okay? And another thing I wanted to say about ATM insurance is you don't necessarily need it. It's not really necessary. If you have your ATM in a barber shop, you don't need it. If you have it in a grocery store, you don't necessarily need it, right? You want to look at the location that you're in. You want to look at the foot traffic. You want to look at how upscale it is. You want to look at how sketchy it is. If you feel that there's a time or a situation that you feel like a situation could occur that could affect you in your business, then by all means go out and seek out ATM insurance. But do not jump onto the first insurance company that you see. Vet out every single insurance company. Talk to your provider, whoever you get your ATM from. Make sure that you understand what it is that you're getting into, because a lot of times you will be in contract, maybe a 6-month contract or something like that, similar to car insurance, right? And another thing that I wanted to kind of point you guys in the right direction here is you don't have to get insurance on every single one. Like, let's just say you have 20 ATMs. You might only want to put insurance on one ATM because you have that ATM in the bar. So if you have 20 ATMs, you don't have to get insurance on every single ATM. You can potentially have different types of insurance on different ATMs that are part of your business, right? Let's just say you only want, let's say you get a blanket liability insurance on your ATM that's in the store or in the bar, but at a strip club, you might want to go a little bit further than that, right? So, these are just things to kind of keep in mind. This is a real short video to kind of answer the question of insurance and whether or not you really need it. And just to simplify it, like as I said, you don't necessarily need it, but it can help you down the line. It could be something that might save your business. And it really just depends on your location, okay? So if this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit post notifications on so that the next time I make another video, you guys will be notified about it. All right, so until then, I will talk to you guys later.